So I'm going to go ahead and reassemble it. One thing I'm going to say is it's real easy to get the follower in the wrong place if you do it this way, if you don't take off the magazine cap. I'm going to demonstrate it that way. You just have to be really careful. So slide the spring into the magazine. Make sure you get the slide bar to go into the receiver, and I'm going to make sure by pushing on the follower that it's lined up, that it's not catching on the magazine. Okay, so tighten the magazine down. Okay, when you get as tight as you can get it, try and go just a little bit tighter. If you do have the screws out here, you can stick a punch of the appropriate size through there, and then use that as leverage to tighten it down. Since you've got the barrel clamping it down, there's no real need to torque it down really tight. It'll stay in place. They don't generally loosen up. So put the barrel clamp. I like the screw to be on this side. It's just me. That's just the way I do it. It's just how I roll. Fairly quick, if you don't do this, to take everything apart and put it back together. You want to get this torqued down. It's got a little bit of spring tension in the barrel clamp itself. You want to get it torqued down, but you don't want to screw up the screw head on there. Okay, so the next step is we're going to put in the bolt. So slide all the way to the front. I like grabbing the bolt by the tail here, and then all the way at the back of the receiver, dropping it in. Be careful, you got to line it up correctly. Dropping it in so that it's behind that the ejector groove there is in the right place, and you can see down in there the extractor and the ejector. Now it's in there kind of loose, and it'll wiggle from side to side, and what'll stabilize it is you push it all the way to the front, slide all the way to the rear, and what'll stabilize it is this. The lifter actually rides on both sides of the bolt, and that'll stabilize it side to side and keep it in there. So again, slide all the way back, bolt all the way forward, and you want to kind of pinch this as you put it in, and just kind of line it up. No real magic to it. Just move it around until it gets in there. There you go. Okay, so you see how the shell lifter went down over the top of the bolt. Okay, then you push the bolt back and the slide forward. I know it seems kind of convoluted here, but what you want to do is you want to line this notch up with this. I'll use a better pointer. With this notch, and that's on the slide. So see that little notch there? That needs to line up with this little notch here. And then this lug here just has to be somewhere in there. So the bolt position isn't as important as the slide position. And when you get everything down, it kind of just falls into place. If you don't get it down, just understand that that's kind of where it goes, and you'll figure it out from there. Okay, so slide all the way forward now, and you want to lean the shotgun a little bit to the side so that you can put in the shell latch, with the curved side going towards the front, the little flared side going towards the rear, and then there's a little hole in here. And on the Mossberg, I think it's drilled all the way through, but it's flush inside of here. Kind of a neat, way of doing it. But Mossberg made it cheaper. So, and once you get it in there, it'll be completely flush with the side of the receiver, and that's where you want it. Okay, now this is your trigger group. There's these little lugs here and here that go into the receiver. Let me drop that. They go into the receiver in little notches right there and there. And if you get it lined up if you get it lined up properly, it's real easy. If you don't, you can actually damage the lugs or make yourself a lot of trouble. Shell latch all the way over to the side, bolt, carrier, and the lifter all over to all in the forward position. Then you want to kind of push this into the front, into those lugs. You see where it's all the way flush here, and then kind of roll. Okay, it's not flush now. That's why. Push this into the receiver. Now it's flush, and then you want to roll that back down there. I like to use a little mallet or the rubber end of a hammer. You don't want to force it too much, but this is a tight gun. This particular one is. I've seen some that aren't. Then you know it's right when this is kind of flush back in here. And then put the pin through. Okay, there you go. And we'll do a function check on it. Push the slide release in. Works fine. Okay. Works fine. Very tight gun, very smooth gun. I like it. It's very intuitive. All steel, except for the trigger guard is aluminum, and of course the wood in there. Very, very nice. Very nice design. The workmanship on it is about as you'd expect from a bargain gun. These are sold at Sears. They were made for the working man. Somebody who's going to go out and hunt with it, or put it up over the mantle or in the gun rack in the back of their truck back in the 60s, and that was what it was designed for. Okay, so as quick as you can pump it. Now, if you'd been holding down on the trigger, we can demonstrate that too. If you'd been holding down on the trigger when you were doing that, the gun would have gone off 6 times without you having to release and depress the trigger again. So we'll do that. It's empty, loaded with dummy rounds. Pull the trigger. Yep. Okay. That's what I get. Okay. So that's what I get for trying to work it upside down and sideways. I'll just empty it out here. So, there you go. The JC Higgins Model 20, also known as the High Standard Flight King. Very wonderful gun, currently being made, believe it or not, by Arms Corps in the Philippines. They're the current high standard, I guess, and they're importing them from the Philippines. A few changes on theirs. They've got the dual action bars, I guess, as a selling feature because the design really didn't need it. But otherwise, virtually identical. They use a lot of metal injection molded parts. The later versions of this used a cast trigger guard. This one is milled, or trigger group, and it also had an aluminum barrel clamp. This is a steel barrel clamp. So this is probably the better version. They also eliminated the magazine cutoff. It's kind of unnecessary. I get, I'd always leave it in the off position. It doesn't seem to me that I'd ever use it. Not prone to cracking the stocks. If you've known Mossbergs and Ithacas, and even Remingtons to some degree, will have cracking issues back here in the stock. I don't see a lot of these that are cracked. It's a sound design. I'm really glad that Arms Corps is producing them. If you'd like to get the Arms Corps, I think they call it the M5 or something like that. You can't really go wrong. The Philippines, they make a pretty decent gun. It's a bargain gun, but it's made pretty well, and the design is great. So that's all I've got. I'll show you my muzzle too, where I cut the barrel and cleaned it up a little bit, and show you a close-up view of the gun. Trying a new video camera. Hope this all works out for you. You can see the markings. Slides back just a little bit. and it's that. They all had this little emblem on the bottom. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be sticking pretty well after, 40, 50 years. And the vent rib on the top of the receiver. The rib on the top of the receiver, vent rib on the barrel. There you go. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you've enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, favorite, share. I like doing these videos. I really enjoy people watching them. If this has been helpful, please do some or all of those things. And thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.